circles, scientists detect a human hand at work. Scientists trying to solve the mystery of the strange crop circles in the fields of the south of England thought this morning they'd achieved a major breakthrough. In the early hours, observers saw a triangular formation of orange dancing lights over the fields they're studying. And at dawn, a new set of crop circles was revealed. But now it seems it was all a hoax.
For a short time this morning, it looked as if Operation Blackbird had turned up trumps. 2 new circle formations in the cornfield with parallel lines running in between. It seemed as if the phenomenon that has mystified scientists for years had happened again, and this time the special monitoring equipment would unravel the secret. But closer inspection revealed the truth. The corn had been crudely trodden down, and in the centre of each circle, the giveaway signs that this was no more than a hoax. A Ouija board and a wooden cross had been left in each, suggesting this may have been some kind of ritual.
There are none of the features which we recognise in the genuine thing. So somebody's had a laugh, they've had a joke, they've actually done none of us any good. That sets these sort of things, only set the research back. We have a serious job to be doing here. It's taken us completely off of the project, and frankly, it's funny for about 60 seconds, and then I find it very, very sad.
The hoax has brought crowds of onlookers and reporters to the scene, to the further dismay of the scientists, who believe their work will suffer as a result. The leaders of Operation Blackbird are now analysing the film of last night's events, but it now seems certain that the orange lights that caused so much excitement will turn out to be the thermal images of human beings carrying out a prank.
Those of Wiltshire say they're mad that hoaxers have tried to ruin their experiments on mysterious corn circles. They announced a major breakthrough after their equipment apparently monitored the formation of new circles, but they'd been fooled by pranksters.
This was the cause of the initial excitement. New crop circles at dawn after a night of mysterious flashing lights. All recorded by the Operation Blackbird team from their hilltop camp in Wiltshire. But as news flashed around the planet, scientists belatedly walked to the circles and found a couple of Ouija boards and crude wooden crosses. They'd been had.
We had seen lights which we could not easily account for early this morning, and that we were further analysing that data.
It was almost instantaneously clear that it was a hoax.
Onlookers were dismayed.
No jolly green giant.
No jolly green giant.
I'm disappointed. Oh, dear, dear, dear.
The local pub, however, remained optimistic. So the world remains as we know it tonight. No extraterrestrial sightings, but they're not saying goodbye to Operation Blackbird yet. They'll continue to watch over these cornfields for another 3 weeks, just in case. Vernon Mann, ITN, Wiltshire.
To be a hoax. Now the time is 6:16.
Crop circles in southern England fear they've been the victims of a practical joke. The team was involved in a surveillance exercise known as Operation Blackbird, covering fields in Wiltshire. Just before dawn this morning, observers recorded orange shapes and dancing lights above the fields. They believed they'd witnessed the forces at work, but closer examination of the circles revealed the incident was a hoax.
For a short time this morning, it looked as if Operation Blackbird was really beginning to sing. 2 new circle formations in the cornfield with parallel lines running in between. It seemed as if the phenomenon that has mystified scientists for years had happened again, and the special monitoring equipment set up here 3 days ago would unravel the secret. But the rather misty picture left little doubt in anyone's mind that this was a hoax. The orange lights that had been seen were the thermal images of pranksters. Closer inspection of the circles themselves revealed that the corn had been crudely trodden down, and in the centre of each circle, Ouija boards and a wooden cross, suggesting that this may have been some kind of ritual.
There are none of the features which we recognise in the genuine thing. So somebody's had a laugh, they've had a joke, they've actually done none of us any good. That sets these sort of things, only set the research back. We have a serious job to be doing here. It's taken us completely off of the project, and frankly, it's funny for about 60 seconds, and then I find it very, very sad.
The hoax has brought crowds of onlookers and reporters to the scene, to the further dismay of the scientists, who believe their work will suffer as a result. This is the most prolific area for corn circles anywhere in the world, and the scientists here are determined to continue their study for another 3 weeks. They brought in extra security measures to keep people away from the site. But they say that last night's hoax has proved at least one thing, that if any more terrestrial or extraterrestrial beings show up, their monitoring equipment will spot them.
The corniest joke of the year.
Round in circles. But first, the news, travel and weather in your area.
Finally, what else but those red faces in Wiltshire yesterday, which had nothing at all to do with the heat. What was being described at this time yesterday morning by the watchers of Operation Blackbird as a major scientific event turned out to be nothing more than a very corny joke. But the crop circle experts say they're determined not to be put off by the unknown hoaxers. Their search for a solution continues undaunted, although a little deflated. Clarence Mitchell reports on the day that had the experts running around in, well, in circles.
You can start to see spherical round here.
This is a computer-enhanced nighttime picture of the moment Operation Blackbird thought it had achieved success. To the expert eye, circles could be seen slowly emerging in the Wiltshire corn, along with faint lights. The truth that it was probably the body heat of the hoaxers would only emerge later. At first glance in daylight, the circles looked convincing, but on closer examination, they spelt fraud on a grand scale. When the Operation Blackbird team got here, they immediately recognized signs of a hoax. Wheat had been broken and soil had been trodden on, and most obviously, these had been left in the center of every circle, a paper board game similar to a Ouija board. And then some 5 hours later, this wire was found in the center of one of the circles, and they think that this is the key to the hoax. The men behind the surveillance operation gave a demonstration of how the wire was used by the hoaxers.
I feel pretty sick about it all. It's a shame that this has happened. What degradation has happened here. All I want to do now is just forget the whole thing and get on with the serious business that we have in hand.
Operation Blackbird had already attracted the media circus. The circle's arrival simply intensified it. But the men from Nippon TV, filming for a Japanese documentary and acting as sponsors for the watch, remained unflappable.
When he came up here and stood here and saw that it was placed in the most perfect position for the cameras to spot it, then he began to kind of feel that something was up.
Just a few miles away, these scientists continued to analyze this genuine circle. They felt the hoaxers had damaged the credibility of their science. They say circle watching should therefore be kept more low-key. They firmly believe circles are caused naturally.
I believe that vortices, masses of spinning air, especially if they're electrified, are able to account for all the properties of the circles that we've found so far.
However, back at the scene of the hoax, opinion was mixed.
I just think there are lots of mysteries which we're not meant to understand, and I think it's a jolly good job that actually so.
No fear of Martians up here or anything
No,
like that?
I don't think so, no. Probably a little bit further over towards Walletstown.
As Japanese TV settled in for the duration, last night's vigil began amid tightened security. The hoax had only strengthened the investigators' resolve to get to the bottom of the mysterious crop circles.
Well, what a disappointment, eh? Though how on earth they were ever taken in by the image-enhanced pictures, goodness knows. Anyway, better luck next time. Just before